How long is too long to be engaged with no wedding in sight? 25F 26M. Curious what you guys think. I met my partner in 2016 and we've been together ever since. We've been living together since 2018 and got engaged in 2021. We wanted to start planning wedding about year after engagement, but unfortunately my grandpa and dad died just a few weeks before. This really turned me off from wanting to plan a wedding. I just wanted to focus on my loss. With their deaths, my 9-year-old sister moved in with us. We have made a lot of progress since their passing and we've talked about planning the wedding again. It just seems I'm the only one interested. He doesn't put any effort for us to get started even after I've reached out to places. We talked about taking a trip to look at places and still nothing. I don't feel like I should be the only one putting the effort in. He also has been promising a new engagement ring, and when I show him what I like he says I have too many standards. We also have no money saved for a wedding since I was financially dependent on him for 2 years. I'm working again and getting ready to go back to school. Now I feel like maybe I don't want to get married. I haven't worn my engagement ring in a while. I tell people he's my partner or boyfriend, doesn't feel like we're taking steps towards marriage. Finally we took a trip with his friends I haven't met before. I couldn't believe these were the people he associates with. They were racist, inconsiderate and rude. It's made me start to question who he really is. Which is crazy, I feel like I don't know him after all this time. Woof, this sounds like a mess. To answer your title question, there really is no length that's too long as both parties are happy with the situation. Given that you were both so young when you got engaged, suffered 2 losses, have become guardians to a child, and one of you was out of work for a while, it makes complete sense to me that you two would have had a longer engagement. It also makes sense to me that perhaps financially getting a new engagement ring when you're potentially a little cash-strapped is tricky. And it also makes sense that maybe your idea of what getting married, having a wedding has changed. But if he has friends who are racist, I would definitely be holding his feet to the fire and finding out why he's keeping company with people like that. What are you questioning? If you should pressure him to set a date and a wedding? Or are you asking if you should marry this guy at all? There is no right time frame unless one person wants to get married and the other person isn't really that interested. Honestly, it sounds like that's what's happening here, and it honestly also sounds like you're seeing a side of him that may make you reconsider getting married. Perhaps that's a gift after all. If you don't want to marry someone with all of your heart and soul, don't marry them at all. Yes, that's who he is. Nope, he's not going to change. Maybe you should sit down and look at what you can even afford before you go into the la la land of planning a wedding with no idea how much it costs. My simple wedding is looking like £22,000 so far, and that's me and my fiancé planning everything down to the cost of napkins. And the fact you're asking for a new engagement ring with no savings. Whether you even should marry this guy when his friends are assholes, that's only something you can decide. But the wedding? Make a plan and get some budgets and savings going first. It's not about length of engagement, but the quality of the relationship. If you have been struggling for years both mentally and financially, he's probably very burnt out. At this stage he doesn't know if he'd been signing up for a lifetime of a loving relationship with his equal, or signing away his last chance at stability and freedom. You're just now thinking about going to school, and it's common to wait for marriage until both partners are stable and at least beginning careers. Look at what you're contributing to this relationship honestly and ask yourself if you'd be worried if your positions were reversed. The non-tangible stuff you're offering like love and support, he's offering that too. I would be worried, and I see where he's coming from. Is it time to end my 8-year relationship? M25F25. I 25M feel like it's almost time to end this relationship with my girlfriend 25F. We are always fighting. I put so much effort into her and our relationship. But she always comes back to what she calls her opinion, which I realize she is allowed to have one. But her opinion is that I'm a loser, stupid, fat, ugly, and the list goes on. She expresses she wants a real man and she never wanted to be with me. She says she wants someone older and more mature. This last year has been hard for me, with mental health and our relationship. I got laid off from my job last year and I've tried getting back to work, but my mental health is so bad. It doesn't help when you have someone in your ear telling you, you aren't good enough all the time. I was never insecure or depressed before. She belittles me constantly. I'm not allowed to express emotions because she says it makes me look like a little kid. I don't know what else to say. She's gotten into my head so much she blames everything on me. My mental health is so bad I've been through maybe 6 or more jobs this year. Working a week and feeling like it's not good enough. Prior to this year, all my jobs I stayed at 2 years or more. This has been ongoing for a while, see previous posts. Yay dude, you need to get out of that one. She is just making you feel worse about yourself when you're in survival mode. A partner doesn't shit on you and make you feel more horrible. Someone shitting on you like this constantly can make it harder to develop the motivation required. Cut her out and focus on yourself. Are you a masochist? You need to end this. She is not going to change her opinion or the image she has of you. Yes, try to improve yourself and to look for someone that values you. But she is just toxic. I'm so sorry you're going through this. This is absolutely not normal. A good woman wouldn't treat you this way. We would sit down and communicate with you when it's necessary. You're allowed to have emotions and even cry if needed. It's time to exit today. No sense in waiting any longer. There's a beautiful life on the other side of this decision. Get back into the gym so you can drain your cortisol and balance your hormones. This will also help you with your self-esteem, really within a few weeks. Start cooking for yourself. Clean up your apartment and reorganize. Donate things and rearrange furniture. Find a few fun intramural teams like kickball and join up for a fun time and to meet some new friends. Spend time in the sun each day for at least 20 minutes. You got this. Yes, it's time to end that relationship and work on yourself and learn to live and be happy on your own. WTF is keeping you in the relationship? Yeah, it's a bad relationship, so leave. Your mental health needs to get help. 6 jobs? Mike, 40M, GF, 30F, wanted closure from her ex. Can I get some advice, please? I, 40M, have been with my girlfriend, 30F, for only about 3 months. Things have been wonderful. She has a 7-year-old, and him and I get along great. I don't have children, but have always wanted one. We first met about 4.5 months ago, and she let me know that she was in an abusive, mentally, relationship that she was trying to exit. We kept in touch, and after she finally left him, she reached out to me and we began hanging out. The entire time all I heard from her and her friends, family was how happy she was, and she has never been treated so good in her life. A hurricane recently hit our area, and after the storm they had no power at their home, so they stayed with me for about a week and a half. We were basically playing family for that time as we were all in the same house. I loved every minute of it and I thought she did as well. Everything was going 10 out of 10 as far as I am concerned. A week and a half after the hurricane hit, her power came back on. The next day she came and grabbed a few of their things and went back home, which makes perfect sense to me. For the next 3 days it was almost radio silence from her, very few texts, no calls, etc. Definitely not the way it has been for 3 months now. I asked her about it and she explained that we went from 0 to 100 miles per hour with the storm and basically living together. It was very overwhelming for her. I completely understand that. 4 days after she left, the 3 of us, her son, and myself, went to a pumpkin festival locally. We had been planning this for a while. As we are walking around I get a text message from a strange number saying it was her ex-boyfriend and he wanted to make sure her and I were broken up since they're getting back together. I overreacted and got upset. I left them there, after making sure our mutual friends could drive them home. She would not answer my calls and was very short on messages for the rest of the night. 2 days ago she came to my house, explained that she did not want to pick up her things, but I finally was able to talk to her about this, and she explained that her ex reached out after the storm and she has been chatting with him. She claims the only reason is so she can get some closure on why he cheated on her when they were together. My ex cheated on me after 5 years with a coworker, and I never needed any closure. I don't really understand the closure part, but I guess it could be a thing. I am not sure how to handle this. She avoids confrontation, and I understand why she does. Her ex was not very kind. I know it has only been a few months, but her and her son mean a lot to me. I am just afraid I am getting played here. You are absolutely getting played. Run and don't lool back. Yup, played like a fiddle. This is what a rebound relationship looks like, folks. Toxic, drama, lies. Don't be someone's rebound. Nothing good comes from it. His girl needed a lot of healing time, not to be dating someone else right away. Get out, dude, you are only gonna be badly hurt. I'm sorry bro, but you are old enough to know that the heart wants what the heart wants. She is still in love with the ex-dude and it doesn't matter if you are perfect for her and he is an abusive jerk. I suppose he is the father? She has to let him go or your life will be hell. If I were in your shoes, I would probably end it and tell her to come back if she is ready to move on from that jerk. Just wouldn't count on it. You cannot save her from herself. You cannot protect her from herself. She is not in a place where she can be a good partner. Give her closure by ending things. There's a huge difference between closure and telling ex that she's broken up with op. That's not just a red flag, it's a whole whack of them. You break it off and let her go. She's not over the ex. She still wants to be with him. I would wager an amount of money that matters to me that something happened between the two of them during the radio silence. And it was more than just, we were texting and figuring things out for closure. How in the world did he get your number? I'll tell you. Either she voluntarily gave it to him or he looked at her phone. You're the, I'll show you, rebound guy to get back at her ex. You had no chance long term. How do I, 31M, approach my wife, 31F, about hygiene? I love my wife, but the longer we have been in a relationship, the lazier she has gotten towards hygiene. I try my best to remind her to brush her teeth at least every day, and she bathes at most 3 times a week. She also doesn't shave with any regularity, maybe once every 2 weeks. When she does shave, she often misses whole sides of her legs or only one armpit. Her butt hairs stick out far past her cheeks. Her toenails become long and yellow, and because she rarely wears shoes, her feet are rough and calloused. Our sex life has taken a hit because of this, and I just don't know how to bring it up without sounding like an asshole. The other stuff isn't hygienic, but there's nothing unhygienic about having natural body hair. Gotta be honest, some of the language here sounds like she may be really struggling. I totally understand being frustrated with her hygiene, but saying things like lazy and complaining about her missing patches of hair while shaving is critical, and not helping. Sit her down and seriously check in on her. How many hours a week is she working? How many kids do you have? Who is doing the cooking, cleaning, laundry, bills, shopping, yard work and vehicle maintenance? Is she spending the time she used to spend on herself taking care of other humans instead? Is she depressed? Every time anyone complains about a woman having bad hygiene, the first thing that Reddit assume is that she is depressed. People can be lazy about taking care of themselves and just not give a shit about hygiene. I have known people, man and woman, who were just slobs. Did not shower often, brush their teeth, dirty nail. They stunk. And no, they were not depressed, they got on perfectly fine on their life, would go out, were very social and happy in general, they just did not care about hygiene. I'm so thankful my husband doesn't care if I don't shave. Tears of joy I do, but sometimes I'm lazy and don't want to. Hair is normal.